Well, hey there, and welcome. I want to talk to you today about the ocean. You know, when I look out at the ocean, out to the horizon, I always, as far back as I can remember, have seen a perfectly straight line. It's straighter than I can draw on paper with a ruler, especially considering its makeup. I have never not seen a straight line. Now, I want you to picture this line that I'm talking about. It's always straight. And when you look out to the horizon and you see that straight line, oftentimes we imagine that the earth falls off from that point. But you know, if you take your boat out there, you will find that the waters continue and the earth doesn't actually drop off. You know, the ocean has many facets to it, all of which are combined to make up this one massive body of water that contains a lot of life. When we look beneath the surface of the water, we find a myriad of things. Things that are beautiful, like the most colorful coral and sea creatures whose names we can't pronounce, or fish that reflect such beauty and grace that we dare to pluck them from the ocean floor because their colors are so vivid and amazing. You know, when I think of the ocean, I think about how we find peace and quiet beneath the water. We find serenity. But underneath the surface, we also find complexity, and we find things that aren't peaceful, things that aren't as pretty. And we can find pain and lostness, confusion, and suffering. The ocean waters are not always calm and peaceful. They can rage without warning. They can cast things out onto the shore. The ocean waters have the ability to destroy in one moment and calm in another. Many times those changes are the result of what's happening on the surface. And many times, well, they result from what's happening underneath. The ocean waters also persevere and never give up. They are both giving and forgiving. But you know, the one constant that never changes is that straight line out on the horizon. It is always there. Now, you might be wondering, why the ocean? Why are you talking about the ocean? What does that have to do with me? You know, what does it have to do with me? I'd like to submit to you today that I think we are probably a lot more like the ocean than we realize. You know, like the ocean, we too can be the most giving person that we know. We can be the most beautiful. We can be the most peaceful and serene person that we know. We can be quiet and calm, peaceful and loving. We can get along with everyone around us. And we can do for others and sometimes forgo our own health and welfare. And like peaceful and easygoing waves, we approach the shoreline and all is well, and we spread love. And yet, we can also roar up, we can get angry, we can be hurtful, and we can make a mess of things. Sometimes we can even get out of control. Something will trigger that in us, and like waves crashing the shore, well, sometimes we crash into the shore and we cause damage, leaving destruction in our wake to be cleaned up by others. And like waves, whether they peacefully approach the shore or crash into it, they return to find that the straight line is still there, that straight line out on the horizon. It hasn't moved, it hasn't gone out of sight, and it still welcomes the waves regardless of how they approach the shoreline. Now, I want you to notice that the straight line out on the horizon is both over the peaceful and the not so peaceful waters. It hasn't discriminated, picking and choosing what it will, but it welcomes all. It sees what's above and below the surface, and it longs to make all of that beautiful. You know, my friends, when I think about this straight line out on the horizon, I am very much reminded of Jesus Christ. He's like that straight line. He is there today, and he will be there. He was there yesterday, he's there today, and he'll be there again tomorrow until he returns. He never leaves us. So whether we approach the shore in peace or in pain, Jesus stands there with open arms waiting for us to come to him. He longs to make us beautiful. He longs to rid us of the pain and the suffering that we feel, the loneliness that we feel, and maybe even the regret and bitterness that we've been feeling. Now, you know, I understand there's days that make no sense. Things that happen to us that we have no explanation for and we fail to comprehend. I believe there's an underlying pain in many folks that are walking around today that only one person can heal and apply the healing salve to those painful places in our lives. And I believe with all my heart that's Jesus Christ. Many folks are tempted today to blame God for their pain and sorrow. They are tempted to become bitter over past hurts. Many folks are walking around today and they've allowed those past hurts to simply destroy them like raging waves can destroy a seashore. But can I just tell you that those are not the only parts we need to pay attention to. Those aren't the only parts of the ocean. Those aren't the parts that we should focus on, all the while ignoring the beautiful parts within us. And we should make every attempt to be peaceful and to live in peace. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is praiseworthy, think about such things." Now you might say, well, why? Why should I think about those things? Well, I have 3 short answers for you. Number 1 is they're lovely. Plain and simple, they're lovely. Number 2, there's no law against those things. At least not yet. There's no law against those things. Okay, there's no law against being noble, being right, being pure, being lovely, being admirable, being praiseworthy, right? There's no law against those things. And number 3, probably most important, is they reflect Christ. So today, as you think about where you are and what your ocean feels like, ask yourself if you are like the raging waves or you're just peaceful and serene. Are you filled with love, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control, the fruit of the Spirit? Or are you filled with unforgiveness, bitterness, pain, and anger? If the latter, I would encourage you to turn those things over to the Lord and let Him apply the healing balm that's needed so that you can experience the peace and love that He longs to offer you. Because I believe it's not too late. I believe you can start that today. Hebrews 12:1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before Him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider Him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Something to think about today. When you look at the ocean in the future, or see a picture of it, ask yourself, am I peaceful? Am I like the waves that just peacefully run up on the shore? Or do I have moments where I'm just raging, I'm angry, I'm bitter, I'm feeling unforgiveness towards a brother or sister, and I'm fixing to crash into the shoreline and do damage? Ask yourself. Or do you have a little bit of both? Some days I'm peaceful and other days it's just not pretty. How can you just become like a peaceful ocean all the time? Can you unload those things that cause you to rise up? Those things that you become bitter about, angry about, resentful about. How can we work through those things and get rid of them so that we can make more room inside our hearts for joy, peace, patience, kindness, love, and true happiness? The ocean. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye.